Good Day Oregon is now on at 5 a.m. because you're up at 5 a.m.
Attack on the internet. For the third straight day, hackers bring popular websites to a grinding halt. It's war on the internet. Good evening, I'm Kurt Ludlow.
And I'm Kim Singer. Today, hackers bombarded top financial sites. The targets included E-Trade, the online brokerage website. Traffic on that site was clogged for about 90 minutes before the company was able to blunt the attack. E-Trade claims customers' accounts were never accessed. ZDNet.com, a popular news site that covers technology, came under siege for 2 hours today. That website simply shut down. The attacks contributed to a big slide on the stock market. It also prompted top federal officials to reassure Americans that they're doing everything they can to fight the online vandalism.
We are not aware of the motives behind these attacks, but they appear to be intended to interfere with and to disrupt legitimate electronic commerce. That is the reason the FBI has initiated a criminal investigation into these matters.
Experts say part of the internet backbone itself suffered a breakdown on Monday, slowing traffic to all websites to some degree. And security experts have noticed that these attacks come at the same time internet service providers have been meeting in San Jose, California.
Well, so far, these cyber vandals have only inconvenienced computer users. But if they can tie up these popular sites, could they gain access to your personal information? Drew Mickelson found out what computer users and computer experts think about that. Drew?
Kurt, the internet has made using the computer and the internet much more convenient for everyone around the country. But some people are wondering, after these recent attacks and these recent vandalism attempts, just how vulnerable the internet really is. Well, we talked to a computer expert today who told us that right now the public is not really at risk, but that could be changing.
Kate Lampe uses Portland's main library to go online.
I check my mail and I write to friends.
She doesn't really like the idea of giving her credit card information out over the internet. And now that she's heard about the recent vandalism on some of the web's most popular sites, she is truly questioning just how secure cyberspace really is.
I have a cautious feeling inside just from hearing these things and not having a real awareness of what might happen.
Taking down the CIA's webpage.
Jonica Jayawardena is a computer security professor at Portland State University. He says these cyber vandals are only targeting the actual websites, not the people using the web pages.
What we're seeing right now doesn't really affect people's security, but it can be a great inconvenience.
He says the hackers are showing how vulnerable the internet is, proving that corporate websites need to pay more attention to security.
We need to fix this. We need to work on this. And I think our whole industry needs to evolve and deal with this. If we don't, then we're going to see a lot more of these kinds of things.
And while right now the online vandals are only causing inconveniences, computer experts say if they're not stopped, they will eventually try to do more damage to the websites and their users.
If we are going to be serious about doing things like voting by net, if we're going to be really serious about doing all sorts of authoritative transactions that are very time sensitive across the net, then these types of disruptions become very important.
Although this week's cyber vandals have not been going after any confidential information, it's still a great idea to always keep a few tips if you're going to be doing any online shopping. Keep these things in mind. First of all, be familiar with any company you're going to be dealing with online. Don't go to a website of a company you haven't heard of. That's what computer experts tell us. They also say don't give out any extra information. For example, if you're filling out an order form, don't tell anyone your social security number or your bank account number or, of course, your PIN number as well. Also, keep a good record of every purchase. Typically, you get some type of a confirmation number. Write that down, or even better yet, print out that screen. That way you have a receipt of just how much money you spent on that website.
Lots of good information tonight for us, Drew. Thank you for that story, Kim.
Well, we'd like to ask you at home what you think about this. Do you worry that your personal information could be stolen off the web by hackers? That's tonight's 12 Talk Back online poll question. Just log on to our website, Oregons12.com, and give us your opinion. We will air the results tomorrow night on the 10 o'clock news. And we've got a warning tonight for drivers. Police are looking for 2 suspects who robbed a woman at gunpoint while she was stopped at a traffic light. It happened in Wilsonville. Here now is a drawing of the 2 suspects. Police say one of them pointed a gun at the woman and demanded money. then joined the other in a stolen car and took off. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office is looking into similar reports in the city of Tualatin. If you have any information, please call the Sheriff's Office.
The FBI needs your help in identifying this man suspected of robbing more than a dozen banks in the Portland area in the last few months. You see him here in pictures taken from a camera inside one of the banks. He's described as a white man with sandy blonde hair, about 5 feet 8 inches tall with medium build. Police say he doesn't use weapons in the robberies. If you have any information about this man, please call the Portland office of the FBI. A pit bull attacks a teenager, and tonight the dog's owner is in jail. As for the dog, he's at the Multnomah County Animal Control. Attack happened earlier this week. The teenager had serious wounds but is expected to be okay. Police arrested 2 people on assault charges after the incident, a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. The 2 are accused of ordering the dog to attack the teenager after he refused to give up his car keys.
Well, tonight, Boeing is urging all airlines to inspect their fleets after the latest discovery in the Alaska Airlines crash. The screw that helped control the plane's tail stabilizer was recovered from the ocean. Cargo Shell reports a single screw could be the key to the crash.
2-foot-long jack screw is a key part of the tail section recovered from the wreckage of Alaska Airlines Flight 261. Questions about the jack screw's role in the crash are now at the center of the investigation. It is threaded through the front of the jetliner's horizontal stabilizer. Electric motors rotate the screw to raise or lower the stabilizer, the small wing-like device on the plane's tail used to raise and lower the jetliner's nose. A close look at the jack screw shows thin pieces of metal intertwined with the threads, meaning it may have been ripped out of the stabilizer.
It was unclear whether the damage had occurred prior to the impact or was caused by the impact of the aircraft into the waters.
When the damage occurred is key. Is it the result of stress from the flight crew trying to control the plane? Did it fail during the final dive, or was it damaged in the crash? The NTSB has sent metallurgists to examine the jack screw in an attempt to answer those questions.
Accidents of this type are almost always a chain of events, and in which the stabilizer is just one potential part of that chain of events.
Other clues may lie 4 miles from the crash site, where Navy salvage crews continue to search for pieces that radar data indicated may have broken off in flight. The board is also trying to find out why the crew flew most of the flight without the autopilot. Was it because of the stabilizer problem? The autopilot was turned off several times. The last time, the plane plunged nearly 18,000 feet in 1 minute and crashed into the ocean.
Alaska Airlines says it is inspecting the horizontal stabilizers on all of its MD-80 series jetliners, and the FAA is also looking at recent incidents on MD-80s. FAA officials are considering whether to place new restrictions or inspection requirements on the planes. Carl Rochelle, CNN, Washington.
Boeing's recommendation that airlines inspect their fleets covers about 2,000 planes, as you just heard, the MD-80s, as well as MD-90s, DC-9s, and Boeing 717s.
Well, tonight, the people who make many of the world's commercial airliners are on strike. Boeing workers went on strike after talks with a federal mediator failed. The union members working since December without a contract voted down the company's latest offer. Better pay and benefits have been the sticking point between the company and the union.
The main thing is, the company's just not taking it serious, and we have to stand up and show them that we will be taken serious.
The engineers union is Boeing's second largest and represents nearly 23,000 workers, including engineers, scientists, and technicians.
Turning to the weather, is it winter or spring? You just can't tell by the weather we're having right now.
That's right. Someone else who loves these beautiful days, our own meteorologist, Rod Hill. He's out on the weather deck. And, Rod, can it get any better than this during the wintertime?
Pretty nice. And, guys, a funny story. I left the house at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, it was so nice out that I forgot to bring my coat. And actually, it's kind of chilly outside right now. But let's go through the numbers and find out just where we stand for the month of February. First of all, today we did it again. The high temperature was up into the 50s, as you just saw a moment ago. We had a high of 53. That means every single day this month so far we have been 50 or better. Now, the normal temperature is actually 50 degrees, so I will tell you tonight that perhaps we haven't been as far above normal as the average chit-chat on the street would indicate. But we are coming in at 4.5 degrees above normal. That's the actual mean temperature. It takes into account the low and the high. so far this month. And the highest temperature in February thus far, 57, and the lowest was our low temperature this morning at the airport, and we dropped down to 33 degrees. I will tell you, Kim and Kurt, that the February extended forecast from the National Weather Service does say that we should be normal to perhaps slightly above normal temperature-wise for the rest of this month, with precipitation about normal. And actually, that's about where we have been so far this entire winter season. Back to you guys.
All right, all 9 days so far this month have been in the
9
50s.
for 9.
That's
Hope
great.
we can keep up the record, huh? All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Rod.
you, Rod. We'll see you a little later on. Coming up right now, police get crafty trying to track down food stamp abusers. We'll tell you about their unusual technique.
Also, a warning tonight to keep your child from taking a deadly ride. See what happens when school buses end up in water.
And money matrimony. Married couples could soon get a big gift from Uncle Sam.
And if you missed WWF star The Rock on tonight's Star Trek Voyager, well, don't worry. We'll show you his body-slamming scenes just ahead.
Tomorrow in the 5 o'clock hour of Good Day Oregon, if you're a pessimist, here's something else to bring you down. All those negative thoughts could be killing you. The story tomorrow.
Ron and Tamara Wegleitner, their farm has been insured with American Family for 2 generations.
We work hard out there. Trust is a big thing to us. If we ever needed them, American Family would be there. The farm's our life. It's everything we have.
All your protection under one roof.
American Family Insurance.
Look in the white or yellow pages for American Family and call today.
Palm Harbor Home. This Palm Harbor Home is really neat. I wonder how they made it. Well, see for yourself.
Take the free factory tour and see for yourself how Palm Harbor builds superior strength and enduring value into every home. Spacious floor plans, unsurpassed quality, and beauty. Take the factory tour and you'll see for yourself why Palm Harbor Homes is America's #1 brand name of manufactured home. Take the free factory tour at the Palm Harbor Factory in Millersburg, I-5 just north of Albany.
At Timberline Dodge, save thousands with 0.9% financing on any new Dodge Caravan. Make your best deal now at Timberline Dodge, the Northwest choice for Dodge. At Timberline Dodge, save thousands with 0.9% financing on any new Dodge Caravan. Make your best deal now at Timberline Dodge, the Northwest choice for Dodge. At Timberline Dodge, save thousands with 0.9% financing on any new Dodge Caravan. Make your best deal now at Timberline Dodge, the Northwest choice for Dodge.
We're the people you can depend on. For quality, it's all right here. Oak Unlimited, legendary service here. Oak Unlimited, what a feeling, what it makes. One of the largest selections of oak anywhere today.
With Kim Singer and Kurt Ludlow, you're watching the 10 o'clock news on Oregon's News 12.
Hundreds of people in the Tri-County area recently got a letter offering financial help with food stamps.
Yeah, but after replying to the letter, many of those same people never received a dime. Instead, they got arrested. That's what happened when local police used welfare food stamp lists to locate and arrest 500 fugitives wanted by the law. David Wilson has the story.
Fugitives on food stamps, that's against the law. So together in a sting known as Operation Talon, the Agriculture Department and local police sent out 500 letters to fugitives informing them of a phony computer glitch causing problems with food stamp benefits. Those wanted by the law were told to contact authorities.
I think there is a piece of police work that does involve constantly dealing with some kind of trickery. And in this case, there is no question that we misled these people.
Only a fraction of the 500 answered the letters, but through USDA welfare lists, police arrested 205 people with outstanding warrants.
Those 205 suspects had charges ranging from robbery, drugs, theft, welfare fraud, child abuse, burglary, manufacture of an explosive device.
I believe most of the folks that came in under the sting operation did have their EBT card with them because
the 1996 Welfare Reform Act makes it illegal for anyone with felony warrants to receive welfare benefits. The USDA and local police believe fugitives use food stamps to buy drugs and illegal weapons, but not everyone agrees with the program. Some have called the sting operation a bit unethical. The police officers say when it comes to wanted fugitives, it's their job to catch them using almost any method they have.
We would not make those major narcotic arrests. We would not get the intelligence that leads us to the perpetrators of violent crimes if we didn't get sneaky sometimes. And so you have to do this.
The Multnomah County Commission recently sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Agriculture opposing the Talon operation. They say they don't believe in catching criminals at any cost. They call using federal welfare lists to apprehend fugitives an invasion of privacy and unethical. In Portland, David Wilson, Oregon's News 12.
Portland is just one of 71 cities where police and the USDA have pooled their resources to catch fugitives. More than 5,000 people have been brought to justice nationwide. And once these felons serve their time, police say they could again be eligible to receive food stamp benefits.
Damaging testimony in a hearing to decide if a teenager is sane enough to stand trial for murder.
17-year-old Patrick Harnett is accused of killing 7-year-old Ashley Carlson. Defense lawyers say Harnett is mentally ill and unfit for trial. A psychologist who testified in the Kip Kinkle trial says Harnett should be locked up.
I prefer that he be in a jail because I think he was a very dangerous person. But the point I was trying to make in that context was that this is a person who was paranoid schizophrenic and did need mental health services and would benefit from them.
Harnett is accused of strangling the 7-year-old to cover up an attempt to sexually molest her. The hearing continues tomorrow.
A memorial service will be held in Portland on Friday for Jonathan Johnson, the Broadway cab driver found murdered last weekend. The tribute to Johnson will begin at 10 a.m. Friday, that's February 11th, at the River Queen lot on Northwest Front Avenue in Portland. A short service will be held. That will be followed by a procession of cab drivers through downtown Portland. Johnson was shot to death in his cab early Saturday morning. So far, no arrests have been made. In other Oregon news, a 75-year-old state law that allows business owners to carry concealed handguns at work without a license. Well, it turns out that doesn't apply to employees. That's the ruling today by the Oregon Court of Appeals. And that means workers have to get a state license before they take concealed guns on the job. This ruling upholds the conviction of a Portland convenience store worker who did have a concealed gun at work but no license.
U.S. West is joining the list of companies hoping to be your long-distance phone carrier. The company filed applications with the Oregon Public Utilities Commission to provide long-distance service. U.S. West wants an equal competitive footing with long-distance providers that are being allowed to provide local service.
Woodburn police say several years of concentrated efforts to fight drugs are paying off. Citywide, drug-related arrests have dropped from 111 in 1995 to 58 in 1998. The 18-officer police department says undercover drug stings have been a big part of the strategy.
Portland City Council wants to make it easier for concerts and sports events at Civic Stadium. Councilors passed changes in zoning rules to allow major events without promoters having to get a permit each time. That means there won't have to be a public notice or public meeting for neighbors to talk about their worries. However, the new zoning changes require the approval of what's called a good neighbor plan and traffic plan for the stadium. Those plans are still being finalized.
Nike stock continued its drop today after the athletic shoemaker announced it would not meet earnings expectations for fiscal 2000. Yesterday, Nike fell 19% to close at $37. That's a drop of $7.25. Today, Nike lost nearly 9% more, dropping to $33.75, or 33.75 points. Nike says it still expects earnings per share to grow 20% despite a shakeout in the U.S. retail industry.
The Trailblazers played their final game before the All-Star break tonight against the worst team in the West.
However, no matter how bad the Los Angeles Clippers are, they always seem to give Portland some kind of trouble. And tonight's Blazers Fast Break, Tim Becker tells us that the Blazers were able to avoid embarrassment in front of their own crowd.
Oh, Kim, I tell you, Portland came into this one 15-point favorites to beat the Clippers. Whoever installed that point spread forgot how the Blazers, mighty as they are, stubbed their toe on the lowly L.A. Clippers time and again. Valentine's Day coming up and a couple tying the knot at the Rose Garden tonight. The Clippers We're tying the Blazers in knots early also, though. Derek Anderson going to score all alone for the 12-4 LA lead. Paul Allen not too worried at this point, but it got worse. Troy Hudson hitting 4 3-pointers in the first quarter. Clippers ahead 38-20. Allen not laughing anymore down there. Second quarter, Brian Grant, though, will follow up the miss, and the Blazers are going to cut the lead to 10 at halftime. 55-45, they trail. Third quarter was big for Arvydas Sabonis. He's going to slam it down, and that ties the game 57-all. Portland opening with a 16-2 run. Rasheed Wallace next possession hits the jumper. That gives Portland their first lead of the night, 59-57. They fed the hot hand. Savas hits the little jump hook. 15 in the quarter for him, but L.A. just won't go away. There's Hudson rattling home a three-pointer at the horn. Clippers lead 79-77 after 3, but fourth quarter, the Blazers finally get it together. Detlef Schrempf off a feed from Bonzi Wells. He scored 15. Then Bonzi's going to work the baseline for the slam. Portland getting a little bit of breathing room. Sabonis, the man of the night, though. Didn't miss a shot from the floor. Hits the follow-up right there, and boy, oh boy, it wasn't easy. A lot harder than it should have been. But Portland wins 107-100 is your final. Sabonis finishing with 23 points in 23 minutes, a perfect 9 for 9 from the field to lead the Blazers. Wallace, meantime, a double-double with 15 points and 13 rebounds. And the Blazers will now head to the All-Star break with the best record not only in the West, but in all of the NBA at 38-11. Players are going to practice tomorrow, then have a few days off before picking it up again next Tuesday at Golden State. But this isn't the way that Coach Dunleavy wanted to go into the All-Star break, just barely getting by the second worst team in the NBA.
No kidding. Isn't that funny how they just creep up to haunt him every time?
All the time. They always seem to have trouble with the Blazers.
Tough night.
15-point spread. I knew it was going to be close.
Goofy. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Meteorologist Rod Hill can't have it any easier with the great weather we've got.
That's right. He's had it easy with this, hasn't he? He'll show us how long the sun will stick around when he does his pinpoint forecast. Have you ever wanted to be like Indiana Jones? Now you can own a piece of movie history, help out a charity at the same time. And doctors think they may have a new treatment for the dreaded and potentially deadly form of pneumonia. Find out more in HealthCast.
What will these 4 radicals do when they premiere for the first time on SmackDown? Don't miss SmackDown.
Thursday night at 8 on Oregon's 12.
I can't hut. Now listen up, cream puffs. I am about to put you through a series of grueling tests. We do not tolerate anything less than perfection. There's a war out there, and I have to know that I can count on each and every one of you. You there. Are those wheels spit shined?
Honda certified used cars must pass a 150-point inspection and are backed by a factory warranty. But then, what else would you expect from Honda?
Is that a bug on your windshield?
Remove it!
Sportsman, this is the big one. As the Pacific Northwest Sportsman's Show takes over the Expo Center. The Pacific Northwest Sportsman's Show is a fisherman's paradise. See the latest in rods, reels, float tubes, waders, and boats. All the gear you'll need to hit your favorite stream. Hundreds of free seminars and demonstrations from the top pros and local experts. See the best Oregon has to offer. The top 200 trophy heads and horns from Oregon. It's only here for 5 short days. Shop, compare, and buy at the Pacific Northwest Sportsman's Show.
An American Airlines plane was forced to land in L.A. today just after takeoff, but the problem wasn't mechanical. Find out what happened coming up.
Take the high road now in a 2000 Mercury Mountaineer. Because you'll get a Mountaineer with a special package that includes V8 power, leather seating surfaces, single CD player, and all-wheel drive. It's an incredible package at a gift-wrap price, only $399 a month with $19.98 cash due at signing. At your Lincoln Mercury dealer. A cut above.
Murphy's Law of Pizza number 47. Your pizza is always on its way.
Where's my pizza?
It's on its way.
What do you mean it's on its way?
Well, it's not here, and apparently it's not there, so it's on its way.
Next time, get a Papa Murphy's Take and Bake.
Increasing sun during the day, 36 at 7 a.m., 44 at noon, and then 48 at 5 p.m. 7-day numbers. That's just a so-so chance of some light rain to Friday late into the evening hours. Saturday, I've now taken out the chance of rain, left it mostly cloudy. Sunday, the chance of rain still there, and Monday, perhaps some heavier rain at 51 degrees. Nothing down the road, just some pretty decent weather for us continuing.
All right, thanks.
All right, Ron, thank you.
See you for a wake-up word in a little bit. Right now, We have some health news for you. In fact, in HealthCast tonight, a new study shows less is just as good when you treat pneumonia. Researchers in Canada compared the conventional pneumonia treatment in hospitals versus a less intensive approach using oral rather than intravenous antibiotics and one antibiotic instead of several kinds of them. The death rates and complications, we're told, were the same, and the less intensive treatment saved about $1,700 per patient. Now, if you have an illness that doesn't have a cure yet, clinical trials could be a good way to get the very best care. Doctors say even if you're placed in a placebo group instead of the experimental research group, you will receive whatever is currently considered the best standard of care. Most trials are free to patients. Some will even pay you. If you're interested in joining a clinical trial, talk to your doctor. This week's New England Journal of Medicine reports a breakthrough in a treatment for patients with a certain type of diabetes. It's called type 1. Those who underwent intensive therapy, taking 3 or more shots of insulin a day, or those who are on an insulin pump stayed healthier longer. In fact, they were able to put off blindness and kidney disease, 2 side effects of diabetes, for at least 4 years after therapy.
If you tuned into tonight's Star Trek Voyager before the news, you saw quite a show. But if not, here's what you missed. WWF superstar The Rock making a guest appearance on Star Trek. The story went like this. 7 of 9 forced into a gladiator arena to kill or be killed. Her opponent, as you can imagine, The Rock. Usually the buff wrestler would win a big match like this one, but he didn't. His lovely opponent was the victor. In other entertainment news, the cherished whip of silver screen legend Indiana Jones is going up for auction on the Lycos website. Director Mike Nichols is heading the effort to raise money for Friends in Need. An autographed script from The X-Files and a sketch of the dress worn by Gwyneth Paltrow to the Oscars last year are also on the auction. The whip, though, is the prize of the collection.
Meanwhile, Little Mouse is getting big attention. It's all because Sony Movie Corporation is planning a sequel to the Christmas blockbuster Stuart Little. The Hollywood Reporter trade newspaper indicates Sony wants to have the new computer animated movie ready for Christmas of the year 2001. You may not be able to go to the Oscars on the big night, but the Golden Statuette may come to you. The Motion Picture Academy will throw 36 official fundraising Oscar parties in major cities all over the country. And in a special lottery, 6 of the cities will enjoy the presence of an official Oscar statuette. The program raised nearly $2 million for local charities last year.
Republicans are pushing a $182 billion tax cut to eliminate the so-called marriage penalty. Right now, married couples pay more in taxes when they would if they were single. The tax cut would get rid of that. This is the first of several tax cut measures the Republicans will push this year. Last night, we asked you, have you ever gone on a blind date that led to a relationship? That was our 12 Talkback online poll question. Here's what you admitted. 37% of you never had a blind date that led to sparks. 32% of you did, though. 30% of you, unadventurous folks, have never been on a blind date.
Unadventurous or smart.
That's
Depends
right.
on how you look at it, right, guys? Okay, there is a word that another Republican candidate for president is calling it quits tonight. Who's in, who's out, it's all coming up.
Also, could the bus your child rides to school be a death trap? I-Team 12 uncovers a danger you need to know about. And John Rocker is back in the Big Apple, much to the New Yorkers' displeasure. We'll tell you why he's there when the 10 o'clock news returns.
Yeah, I'd like to run an ad. Put this down. Own a new Ford Ranger from Vancouver Ford for only $79 down and $79 a month. Yes, that's right. $79 down and $79 a month. No, I know we're the big Ford store, but that doesn't mean we can't offer small prices. Very good. Oh, hey, by the way, say hi to Linus and Snoopy for me.
A month ago, you resolved to spend more quality time with the family and change your eating habits. Time to make good. For a limited time only at Blockbuster, we're now offering 2 5-evening new releases for only $4.99. And check out this hot new release. Rent Blue Streak this week at Blockbuster. He planned the hike, he stole the rock, and now he needs the perfect disguise. Martin Lawrence stars in the hilarious comedy Blue Streak, rated PG-13. Guaranteed to be there this week. Now available on DVD at Blockbuster.
How safe is your child's school bus? Look how quickly this one sinks. See what's being done to make buses safer. I-Team 12 investigates, coming up.
Know what I like best about Sleep Train's Big Part
of the KeyBank Best of Broadway series, sponsored by Delta Airlines.
There's a road you travel. It takes you over hills, across bridges, and downtown. It throws you a curve and heads straight for the horizon. All along this road, you'll find Tesoro gasoline. Wherever the road takes you today, take to the road with Tesoro. Look for our clean stations and fast, friendly service on a road near you.
We're the people you can depend on. For quality, it's all right here. Oak Unlimited, legendary service here. Oak Unlimited, what a